Hey, Tim Sykes here. It is officially August. I'm filming this pre-market. Want to recap July, want to go over some of the stocks I'm watching, the trends I'm seeing, and really just how, you can make August the best month ever. Leave a comment underneath this video right now and say, I will make August the best month ever. Every single day, every single week, every single month, you have an opportunity to improve on the past. I know it's not going to happen overnight. You should know it's not going to happen overnight. But if you have that kind of positivity and that mentality of just going forward, you will be surprised at how your gains, knowledge-wise and eventually financially speaking, will add up and compound over time. So it's a new month, blank slate. Think about what you can do to make this month the best month ever. Leave that comment. I know it might seem cheesy or cliche. I don't care, okay? I'm cheesy, I'm cliche sometimes. I'm still going to tell you what I think because I've seen too many people have the wrong attitude, the wrong mindset. It holds them back. They don't grow like they should. They give up, they get frustrated, they lose, they work a job they hate, and then they die. Like literally, that's the life for most people. Most people are never going to achieve the success they should. And it's little things adding up over time. So it's a new month, and I want you to capitalize on it. You challenge students specifically. New month, you already have a new webinar from one of my two 8-figure students. It's not just me anymore. Remember, Jack Kellogg just gave a great hour-and-a-half webinar last night. Amazing job, Jack. He's over $12 million. If you're in the challenge, you can watch it. You should watch it. Also, it's not just him. I mean, we have so many great students now paying it forward. Tim Grittani, my first 8-figure student, if you're in the challenge, you have 70 plus archived webinars from Tim Grittani. Watch them all. You think they don't apply because they're a few months or a few years old? They do. History repeats. Learn from the process. As more and more of my students turn a few thousand into a few $1 million, and it seems impossible from the outside, you're going to start to see that there are some really common themes that all these students have. And it's really amazing that they're sharing so openly. They don't have to, okay? I have several millionaire students who don't share anything. That's fine. That's up to them. But I really appreciate the students who do share everything. So in the comments below, say, I will make August the best month ever. And also, if you're a challenge student and you watch this webinar or you see that Jack is now giving a weekly watch list to challenge students too, thank Jack because he doesn't have to do it. He wants to pay it forward, and I love it. On to my own trading, for the month, $10,000 plus. Like, this is my best month in quite a while. I know it might not seem like very much. I had that really nasty $27,000 loss where I just mind blanked, just totally ignored my rules. I always tell you guys to use stocks to trade breaking news. I'm in a stock where I fat fingered the position. I took a position too big. I didn't see that stocks to trade breaking news had alerted that they had a financing. I then tried to dig myself out of the hole by doubling up. So I took a position that was like 20 times bigger than I thought. The only good thing I did was cut losses quickly. But, when I say the $27,000, it matters perspective wise because it really held me back. I went back to the basics, trading with, just small numbers. Even though the market, is on fire, I'm still basically in timeout. It still blows my mind that after 20 plus years and now, showing every trade with you guys and not wanting to look like an idiot, somehow I just threw away all my rules one time. And, it could have been worse. I could have, if I had held till the end of the day, it would have been like nearly $100,000. I went way too big. It's so stupid. And it was, several weeks ago and people are like, okay, Tim, build a bridge, get over it. I have, but it's going to impact me for quite a while because I still have to prove to myself that I deserve to trade with bigger capital. Because as of yet, I'm still not out of, the danger zone, just mentally. But I'm very happy with the $10,000 month. Now year to date, Pretty cool. Again, nothing huge at all because I'm still, working my way back with small size, but now, nearly 25K on the year. So just to put it in perspective, the 10K in the month is really good. The 27K, like you take away that trade, I'm up 50K. Without that nasty trade, I probably would be trading bigger. I wouldn't probably have just made 10K this month. I probably would have made like 30 or 40 or maybe even 50K. So I'm still in the zone of, the cool thing is I always say like you can't predict like your profits, like don't try to set yearly goals, but I've been doing this for 2+ decades. So it's only natural to like have some expectations over time. I would still be on track without that big loss for a 6-figure year. You take what the market can give you. I'm really happy that the market is back, but that big loss really held me back. And I'm still putting myself out there with very small positions because I have to prove to myself that I am worthy, and I have yet to prove that. Also, my go-to patterns are not like the big play right now. Like OTCs are still pretty slow. The biggest plays right now, are plays like Tupperware, where it's just a short squeeze. It's not because this is such a good company. The biggest trend right now, when penny stock promoters are just inept or incompetent or I don't know, in retirement, like it's crazy to me. Penny stock promoters should be having a ball right now, but they're just not. They're just not there. The biggest catalyst for these stocks are over-aggressive short sellers. And I'm very glad, even with my big mistake, even with my trading small, I'm very glad to be on the right side of things. My apologies to those of you who, you've seen that a lot of my millionaire students are primarily short biased. I used to be short biased, but I think it's just a very crowded niche. And example after example, like whether it's Tupperware or HKD or iLag, and there's so many giant squeezes. Like Tupperware isn't even like the worst squeeze at all, but it's just the fact that it exists should help you understand how many short sellers there are, because I'm hearing some horror stories. I'm not trying to, cause any drama or rub any salt in the wounds. I'm trying to teach and I'm trying to warn you guys about flawed strategies. And there's so many short bias chat rooms, so many shady little short selling brokers now. You have to remember, because I've been doing this for 2+ decades, I'm not trying to like brag about my experience. I'm just trying to give you my perspective. When I first began teaching 15+ years ago, when I said I was shorting penny stocks, like people called me a criminal. People were like, shorting penny stocks is illegal. They didn't realize that you just have to find shares to short, E-Trade and Interactive Brokers. Didn't have shares to short all the time. I have a whole music video called No Borrow, No Cry. Now there's so many brokers that have popped up and they have a lot of fees and locate fees and crazy expenses and crazy rules for shorting. But because of my success as a teacher, because now I have 30+ millionaire students, and if you look at the track record and the journeys of the 30+ students, it's probably like half or 2/3 are short biased. So a lot of people see, whoa, wait a minute, like these millionaires are, shorting penny stocks. It's not illegal after all, surprise. And I've created this cottage industry of short sellers, and I have to warn against it. Like it's crazy to me. No different than Richard Berry. I don't know if you know him. He used to train Flipper the dolphin, and Flipper the dolphin made everyone love dolphins, and then all these marine parks opened where they basically trap dolphins and they take them from the wild and they make them perform. And Richard Berry or Richard O'Berry, I forget his name exactly, but like he really felt guilty because he's the one who created the industry, and now so many dolphins around the world are suffering. I basically created this industry of popularizing short selling penny stocks. I wasn't the first. I'm not the only one, but I definitely made the most noise. And a lot of people listen. And, like I said, if you follow me on Twitter, Tupperware will crash eventually. Shorts aren't wrong in their thesis. The problem is there's just so many short sellers these days, and they're all trampling on each other, and they're all hodling. Like crypto people hodl on the way like down, and they believe in crypto, and like a lot of them have just gotten crushed. NFT people too. I always, even when I'm trading anything speculative, I always say cut losses quickly. But this hodling crowd and this hodling mentality has applied to short sellers too, where because they know that Tupperware will crash eventually, they're hodling on the way up and their losses are growing and growing. And some have thrown in the towel. Sometimes the brokers throw in the towel for them. They can't outlast the short squeeze. They get margin calls. They don't have enough money. And because I'm not short selling, you have all these newbie short sellers teaching, and I'm doing air quotes, teaching, and they're teaching the wrong rules. They're teaching irresponsible trading because we know that most of these stocks, if not all of these short squeezes, are going to crash in the long run. The problem is you can't outlast it. And there's so many newbies with small accounts learning the hard way that shorting, you can lose all your money. You can lose more than all your money. And it's just very sad to see. So, my apologies to those of you who are just in the wrong chat room and you have like these newbies who have made a lot of money in the past like 2, 3, 4 years and they think they're experts and they're like leading you down the wrong path. And it's sad to see. So, I've warned for years now and I don't know, hundreds of video lessons that I don't think shorting is a good strategy. Some people say, well, Tim, your millionaire students do it. Yes, because they now have the money and the experience to outlast these plays. Although I'll tell you, like even some of my millionaire students are having giant losses on some of these squeezes. So if the best millionaire traders really can't, do that well, newbie traders, you just have like no chance. And Tupperware hasn't really shown like signs of crashing. Like I think short sellers are like, maybe it'll get halted, maybe it'll crash, maybe it'll end. I don't like maybes. This just keeps going so far. And who knows how high it goes. I mean, it's already up from like 70 cents to 440. So, 6 times, 7 times your money in just a few days, which is pretty crazy. But it's not a fundamental spike. It's a short squeeze with like rumors galore. I don't believe any of the rumors. I know that this is, a short selling based squeeze. And again, my apologies to those of you who are losing. Some people have taken their losses. Some people have gotten wiped out. Some people are hodling on the way up, hoping that it's going to come down. I hope it does come down for the shorts. Like I don't want people blowing up, but we've seen with too many, short squeeze stocks, like you just can't outlast it, especially if you have a small account, you don't have the experience. Even if you have a big account, even if you do have the experience, like, this could still go to the 5s, 6s, 7s, go to the 10s. Like, let's just remember HKD. Short sellers like to block out, the black swans. They're like, oh, but that was just one. All it takes is one to blow you up, okay? This thing went from like $18 up to $2,500. Yes, it does crash in the long run, but I know many traders who lost 5, 6, and even 7 figures on this. ILAG, same kind of thing, not to the same degree, but this squeeze, where was it? Was it this one? Yeah, it was one of these. I don't know. They did like a whole. They're a terrible company, so they're doing like reverse splits, so it screws up the chart, but. So many of these. Even like, people are hating on, GSIT. This is not as big of a squeeze. But like, this is a squeeze from the 1s to the 9s. And so many shorts, again, even though it's crashing now, so many shorts were shorting this, hating it in the 4s, 5s, 6s, 7s. And they were getting margin calls and losing their asses 7, 8s, 9s. So just be careful shorting. I'm really happy with my, small gains, but I'm trading very safely. I could do a lot better on Tupperware. I'm taking small gains. I'm really kind of surprised at how far it's going. And I've also been traveling the past few days. Like you'll see me travel more during July and August. As Jack said on his webinar yesterday, he knows that July and August are slower for him. For me too. July and August, even in good years, are slower. So I'm traveling. I'm taking it easy. And I'm still in, timeout. So I'm happy just to take small gains and have it add up. Really working behind the scenes. We have this new dashboard, which I'm really excited for. We have so many new different study guides and different really curated ways to learn with this new student portal. If you're a challenge student, I know it's confusing because we have like different websites now, but we're just trying to get organized. And really have a lot of homework and a lot of, guided coursework. So if you're in the challenge, email admin@timothysykes.com for some instructions and some help with this new student portal. If you're not in the challenge, I'll link the challenge. You should be. This is where all my millionaire students are. But long story short, I'm watching Tupperware. I'm watching plays like AAOI. See if it can come back. Like, it's not just short squeeze that I'm watching. I'm also watching these like multi-day runners. AAOI, I really underestimated on the way up. This is really nice to see, but now it's kind of stair-stepping on the way down. If you remember the penny stocking framework, you got the 1, 2, 3, you got the 4. The bounce play was really weak, so it led to another crash. It wouldn't surprise me if we get one more stair-step down. This surprised me on the way up, so usually when they surprise me on the way up, maybe this was a short squeeze. Maybe it'll surprise me on the way down. I don't know. Sirius Satellite Radio, I'm also watching for a bounce play. But it's been, this is a bigger company, unfortunately. But normally I like this chart as a bounce play. But bigger companies, the bounces are pretty weak because it probably got ahead of itself. Wouldn't surprise me if this is a short squeeze. You never really know. Like, some people are like, well, but the short data. There's no accurate short data, okay? You have month-old short selling numbers. It's not accurate in my experience. Promoters use it to try to claim that, like, there's short sellers in like 1, 2, 3 cent stocks. They say it's a conspiracy. It's usually all BS. Not even usually. It's always all BS with these promoter conspiracies. It's the naked shorts. But at the same time, I just don't think that Sirius Satellite Radio ever really deserved to go this high. So the bounce, so far has been pretty weak. But then you got plays like RDW where, this is a multi-day run, comes down, and now it's bouncing a little bit. Not hugely volatile, but still opportunities. So look for multi-day runners. Look for, big spikers. I see too many people focusing on like one-day spikers, like these one-and-done plays, and I know they're exciting because everyone talks about them, but I find that you have better odds of success, just better predictability on, multi-day, multi-week runners. DHC was also one that I underestimated. And this one, nice multi-day, multi-week breakout, comes down, then it comes up, but it's like a little too gradual. I don't really trust these gradual plays. Like SOUN is another one of these choppy AI stocks where nice breakout, nice uptrend, came down, couldn't bounce, and then it just keeps dropping. Like AI is tough, right? Like SOUN was a solid breakout, but when it can't bounce, that's your sign to like get out. Because if a play can't bounce, I don't care if it's a multi-day or multi-week runner, it can lead to another leg down. And this is the same thing as AAOI, right? Underestimated it, came up all the way, tried to bounce, couldn't bounce, led to another leg down. So really be careful with these plays. And that's why I talk so much about short selling. I'm not trying to like rip on anybody. I just want you to understand the risks and how short sellers influence these stocks, because Tupperware is the biggest short squeeze right now. It will crash. I don't know whether it's this week or next week. It's tough to tell like how many shorts have thrown in the towel versus, or, willingly or with the broker through margin calls, versus how many shorts are just adding to their position, adding, hodling all the way up, hoping that it's going to crash or get halted of some kind. And it's really tough to judge. So I don't know where the top is. I know that shorts are getting clobbered. Those of you who have messaged me, whether it's yourself or someone who's gotten clobbered, I'm sorry. I wish that, the short sellers who teach were more transparent and frankly better, but they're just not. A lot of the biggest short sellers always like go on vacation, or they hide their losses, or they hide their fees, so they lure in people. I say short sellers are the new promoters because promoters try to lure people into the crappiest stocks. Short sellers try to lure people into shorting because they're trying to like break the momentum. They want groupthink. They want all the shorts to short together, and then they can try to break the stock together. I think that's very dangerous. Short selling is very dangerous, and groupthink. There's a lot of chat rooms where everyone like takes the same positions and they trade together. I think that's like the epitome of danger. I'm very proud to trade on my own. I always tell people not to follow alerts from anybody. I want you to understand my process so that you can then build your own process. Self-sufficiency is the key, okay? Seriously, challenge students, watch this webinar from Jack, watch his old webinars. I've also had like a dozen other millionaire students give webinars in the past. Watch them all and really listen to them, and you'll see that they're all about self-sufficiency in their process, not about any one play, not about following anybody else. They know themselves. Like, probably one of the best tidbits from this Jack Kellogg webinar is that he knows himself, so he's taking it easy in July, August, September. And he's only been trading like, a few years, but he already knows. And that's the thing with trading. Like, it's not just how much money you can make. Some people are like, oh, I have to trade all the time. I have to study all the time. That sounds miserable. You can go up and down. If you realize that trading is a marathon, which it is, and that the most money you'll make will be long-term, you got to do what's right for you. You can't study all the time. You can't trade all the time and burn out. You got to live a little bit too. So plan some days or weeks or even months where you spend time with friends and family, you work out more, you sleep more, you travel more. There's a reason why a lot of traders travel in July and August. It's beautiful out. We can travel again, which is nice, but at the same time, like, the market is a little choppier. And let me just close by saying, reviewing the market, the NASDAQ has gone a lot further than I thought. Pretty amazing. We're up, 44% year to date. Like, it's crazy. But a lot of it is just like bigger companies like Tesla, Apple, Amazon, Google. Congrats if you're like a large cap investor. Like, that's really all you had to do the past few months. Like, Google, just an amazing run. Just the past 150 days, the past 2 years, still nasty. But this is a solid uptrend off the lows. Like Facebook, Meta, a crazy run up, triple off the lows. And some people will say, well, why don't you just do that, Tim? Like, that's not my specialty. I like that the big companies are up. A rising tide lifts all boats. But, I mean, look at this long-term. Tesla, I think, is still kind of a mess. I mean, Apple, fantastic if you held. Like, I didn't think that it had this much upside. So I'll underestimate big cap plays. I'll miss out on some of these big things, but that's fine. I've made my millions by being very meticulous with low price stocks. I'm glad when the market is up. The S&P 500 is within like shooting range of its all-time highs. Like, this is crazy how far we've come back. If I was a betting man, I wouldn't have bet that we would be this high right now. But I'm glad that I'm not a short seller. Forget about just short sellers of small cap stocks, like short sellers of big cap stocks being like, this company is overvalued. There's inflation. There's a depression. There's political conspiracy there. I can only imagine how frustrated some short sellers are, and I'm sorry to laugh, but short selling is so stressful, so risky, so crowded, so unprofitable. It's never paid to bet against America for any extended period of time. So many people are like, this is the end. This is Rome. Rome is burning. Listen, I've traveled all over the world. Americans, a lot of them just don't have perspective. America is the richest, most successful country, not even company, country in the history of the world. To bet on any 1 year being the end of that, I think, is just foolish. Obviously, America has problems. Every country has problems. But the trend looks to be prevailing. So, long story short, I wouldn't be a short seller. Tupperware will crash eventually, probably soon, probably next week. Like, look at Tupperware long term. But it's down so far off the highs, and you just have so many shorts. So, I'm grateful for the shorts because it creates opportunities. I'll be looking to dip buy any giant crash intraday. Ideally, the shorts are right. And ideally, there's some negative news or, the short sellers release some report. Like, short sellers tend to release reports together these days because they're trying to, like, push the stocks down because they're the new promoters. But, I hope they do crash it somehow. I have no position. And if it crashes, let's say from 4, and, there should be some support here in the mid 2s. Like, if it can come down that much, like, I'll buy a ton into a morning panic if it can drop like 40%. I love morning panics. Morning panics have been weak lately too. So my strategies haven't been on fire, but at least I've warned about the risks of the wrong strategies. And I don't mind being slightly green, especially when I have my own discipline problems. So anyways, that's today's lesson. I know it's a lot of stuff, but this is just all that I'm thinking. Challenge students, please watch Jack Kellogg's webinar. Thank everyone. Everyone thank Jack in the comments below. Also leave a comment below. Say, I will make August the best month ever. And if you have any questions about the new dashboard, the new student portal, email admin@timothysykes.com. My team is there to help. We have a lot of support people. We've grown the team. I've really invested a lot of money into trying to create more millionaires and trying to get you guys up to speed. You're playing a game of catch up. Remember, like my millionaire students had access to all of this material. You have access to even more material than they had. You're playing a game of catch up because the game is being played every single day, with or without you, whether you're prepared or not. You can choose how prepared you want to be. You can choose your dedication level. You know, as Jack said in this webinar, like he's been so obsessed with learning and he saw how it pays off. Like it's crazy to me when people make excuses why they don't want to learn. Trading is hard. Like the stock market isn't great. Zero excuses. Okay. If you do click the link below and join my challenge, zero excuses. None of my millionaire students actually joined the challenge in a very hot market. In fact, almost all, I can't even think of, now there's 30 plus of them, so I'm like losing track, but I would say almost all of them started in a slow market so they could learn, and then they were ready and prepared and capitalized on a hot market like 2020, 2021. So even though, Tupperware is up and, the NASDAQ is up so much, like we're still not seeing like a huge trend with AI stocks or OTC stocks. Like we're not at mania levels anywhere close. And I think you'll find that if there is a mania in 2024 or 2025, or hopefully it's 2026 or 2027, like the longer you have to prepare before the best opportunities, the better. But whenever the next mania is, you'll find a lot better plays. And you'll see that like trading is much better, so much better when you're prepared and when there's better opportunity. Right now, if you feel like you're missing out, if you're selling too soon, if you're confused, it's not just you, it's also the market. I don't care that the NASDAQ is up so much. I don't care that all these plays are up so much. Aside from like the biggest cap stocks, like AI stocks have been very, very difficult. The biggest runs have been short squeezes, which are notoriously difficult to predict the top on. Morning panics haven't been that strong. So all I can say is stick with it. I started off the video by saying, let's make August the best month ever. I mean it. I'll have a detailed review of Jack's webinar too, in case you don't. It's an hour and a half, and I'll like condense all the lessons. I think it's really good to study from those who have banked and are banking. Like Jack, is quote taking it easy right now, but he's still up like $2 million this year, and he's just done so well. Pushing himself and learning, and I just want more students like that. So. I know my gains aren't that exciting. Remember, I donate all my trading profits to charity. I'm trading small. I'm trading and traveling. 50,000 in the last year. Again, very small, but very safe. I would rather you trade small and safe than over aggressive and hodl like a damn degenerate gambler like too many people. I know that hodling has paid off for some strategies, but it also just leads to a lot of devastation when you are wrong. You can hodl and make millions, but if you never take those millions, you lose. And that's a lot of crypto people I know, a lot of NFT people, a lot of crypto and NFT people did sell some and, had to pay taxes on their gains, and their tax bills are bigger than what their current NFT and crypto holdings are now worth. So technically they're down. Terrible. So it's not that I'm like on fire, but I know what not to do, and I see a lot of the risks. And I really think this is a good time. August, slow month for trading usually. So feel free to travel, work out, spend time with friends and family, or study more. Even though historically it's a slow time of year, the market is on fire. We never know how many more short squeezes, how many good plays are coming. You just want to be ready. You can't control what the market is going to do, but you can control your preparation. So I'll see you guys in chat. Leave a comment below. Say, I will make August the best month ever. And let's work every day to make this month the best month ever. And then make September the best month ever. And then make October the best month ever. And you'll really be surprised, again, at what you can achieve over time if you stay dedicated. I'll see you in chat. Thank you.